A community is studied and several interactions are observed and recorded. So we have this table and it has 4 types of interactions: the effect on organism X and the effect on organism Y. So before we really get into figuring out what all of these examples are showing, right, when we look at our answer choices, we can kind of figure out what it's wanting us to do. I put this image that we used a lot in class to review those symbiotic relationships that organisms have with each other. So remember, if one organism is happy, if it's benefiting, getting something good, and the other one is killed, that's called predation. If one organism gets something good and the other one is harmed, that's called parasitism. If both organisms are benefiting, then that's called mutualism. Both get something good. If one gets something good and one is unaffected, so it's not helped or hurt by the relationship, that's called commensalism. And then finally, we have competition. So organisms competing over any resource, food, water, shelter, anything like that. So we're going to go through, look at our table, and we're going to assign faces to each part, and then we should just be able to match up our faces, figure out the name of that relationship, and figure out our final answers. All right, so interaction A, we have a gazelle is running from a predator, and the predator captures and eats the gazelle. So if the gazelle is running away from the predator, but it's captured and eaten, then that means it was killed. So we have this face for that. For the predator, it just got a meal. It was able to eat the gazelle, so that's a good thing for the predator. Next interaction, a tick living on a dog gets nutrients from the dog's blood. So the tick is getting nutrients. Remember, nutrients are a good thing. So for the tick, that's going to be a smiley face. It's benefiting. The dog is being harmed by the tick and experiences itching. So if it's being harmed, we're going to give it a sad face. It didn't say it was killed. The dog wasn't killed. It's just being harmed. Interaction C, the remora swims under the shark and collects scraps from the fish that are eaten by the shark. So for the remora, it's telling us that it's getting a meal. It's eating something, so that's going to be good. The shark is not affected by the remora. So that's going to be just a straight face right across. Okay, it's not being helped, it's not harmed, it's just kind of there. It doesn't care, it's not affected. And finally, interaction D, spider crabs have greenish-brown algae that live in the cracks of their shells that help them blend into the environment. So if they're blending into the environment, that means they're camouflaging from predators, they're hiding from predators, and that's going to be a good thing for them. The algae receive shelter from the spider crabs in return. So if the algae are receiving shelter, that means they basically have a home. They get protection, which is also a good thing for them. So which table describes each of the relationships and the interactions mentioned in the table that we just went through? So all you have to do is look at your 2 smileys, look at your 2 faces, figure out what that relationship is called, and match it with one of the answers over here. You'll do that for all 4.